finance officers, we have residents people. So there's a lot of portfolios in the SRC that make sure that each and every aspect of the student's life is catered for, whether it's their academics, whether it's residence affairs, whether it's their funding. So we basically are the ones who, we are more like a substructure to the management, but we deal with all student issues. And it's very important because we are also students. So we are more sensitive and we are more, we have more information when it comes to student issues and what they deal with, because we also, in a way, deal with those things as we're all students as well.
Okay, right. So you mentioned that you are the highest structure in leadership, right, within the institution in terms of student leadership, that is, right? Yeah. There's a bit of a stereotype in terms of I'm a comrade, and how do you then as the SRC ensure that you debunk, that stereotype and actually, encourage people to actually investigate and interrogate what the SRC is all about and be a part of it?
I think we have officers, and also being a woman, I myself, politics on its own is always regarded as a male territory or a male terrain. So it's always even hard for a woman to penetrate that type of space. So when I get there as a woman, when I got there, I made sure that all other females that are young, that come to the institution and that find an interest in politics and being comrades, I make sure that I accommodate them. I make sure that I mentor them and become sort of a big sister, so that I can debunk all of those myths and everything, and also just being easily accessible to students at all times, just to show a level of transparency in everything that you do.
All right, 100%. I like what you mentioned there in terms of, inspiring others and passing on the baton to fellow women, right? Speaking of women in leadership, we have Uweliswa from Mini Habitual Planet Workshop, and she is the president of this program. Uweliswa, how are you tonight?
Hello, everyone. I am great. Thank you, Tembelezo. I'm great.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Mini Habitual Planet Workshop. What do we do? What is this all about? Because I know that you guys have a keen interest in sort of bringing science to people in the rural areas, right? So you bridge that gap between the knowledge of those who have access to knowledge about science and why careers in science are important. So, as a woman in leadership, as a student, what things can you say through Mini Habitual Planet Workshop have you encountered? But primarily, what is it all about?
All right. So the Mini Habitual Planet Workshop was started in 2019, and we have a theme to inspire township learners to pursue science-related careers. So I myself, being a qualified scientist at the university, I'm also pursuing another degree in science. But what I understood was that there was an underrepresentation of Black female scientists just as a global problem. And also a lot of people are not aware of the different careers that exist in science. I was one of the people that entered into a program without having a full understanding what it entails and what my career is going to look like. So we are trying to give back to our communities by offering that type of knowledge, and also just making science practical, especially in science, in high school learners, because they learn the sciences in the classroom, but they can't really visualize it practically because due to lack of infrastructure and things like that. So I started the program with just that in mind, just wanting to give back to the communities that are closer to the university and ensuring that learners that leave high school and go into university setting have a broader understanding of the different careers that we have at UKZN.
All right. Okay. So I think just bridging the gap between the knowledge and the access to that knowledge is such an important thing. So how can someone be a part of, your program and actually, be a member?
So the Mini Habitable Planet Workshop does have like a sister program. It's called Access. Applications are currently open at this point, and it's a great way to network, to meet other students. we actually promote situated learning by having workshops that take place in different universities in the country. So that's always a great way to network and meet other people from different universities and just learn about the different cultures. We also promote and teach about earth system sciences. So applications are currently open, but those that want to be part of the Mini Habitable Planet workshop and helping us give back to communities, whether it's teaching sciences, whether it's facilitating when we're having Careers Day events, they can always reach out to me on my email address or social media pages. We do have a page for Mini Habitable Planet workshop on Instagram.
What is, the social media page so that people can actually reach you? What are the details?
It's called the UKZN Mini Habitable Planet. UKZN Mini HPW.
Okay,
UKZN _ Mini HPW. Yeah.
All right. I hope they caught that, because this is a very interesting program and I think people really need to be a part of that. But I will come back to you a bit later. Right. On that note of bridging the gap, Natisha, right, you are part of the Tech Society, right? And that really is centered around bridging the gap in terms of the digital divide that we have within society, really, right, at large. What is the Tech Society about, and how can someone who wants to be a part of it actually enroll?
Thank you for your question. Actually, I'm also the co-founder of the society, and it's actually the very first tech society that we've had after a very long time. And basically what we do at Tech Society is we promote STEM. Now, everyone hears this word called STEM. STEM is basically science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And the core of what we do is promote technology. There's these buzzwords that you hear around basically with technology, especially with COVID now, right? There's so much of exposure to technology. For example, metaverse, these things that like metaverse, cryptocurrencies, all of these tech buzzwords you hear. Basically, we're trying to encourage students, anyone and everyone can join within UKZN. So we have accounting students coming in, we have students from the science streams joining us, and also our IT students as well. So at the very core of what we also do, we try to promote the field of technology and just try to upskill as well, teaching students about skills in technology, also getting a better online and digital presence for themselves, CV writing skills. So there's so much that we've actually worked on, and a lot of students have been exposed to amazing opportunities. Recently, some of our members actually participated in a hackathon, and one of our members was actually on the winning team. So it goes to show that a society like this, we encourage young leaders to step out and do amazing things, and especially, in the space of technology, go out and speak. One of our executive member was actually invited to be a speaker at an education summit. So it goes to show that, these societies definitely do unlock potential. And your second question, you asked me, how can people actually join the society? Well, it's open to all UKZN students. We also have social media as well. So we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn, and also TikTok. So our social media handles are Tech Society UKZN. So you can follow us on our social media, see what we're up to, see the workshops that we're having, the Zoom sessions. Guys, it's absolutely exciting. I know I'm talking about Tech Society, but the other societies here as well that we have at UKZN, it's absolutely amazing. The opportunities that you have being part of these societies, it definitely unlocks a new side to you, and also leadership at the very core. We're all discussing leadership right now, and we have student leaders here. I would say definitely in your first year, sign up for a club and society. Hopefully Tech Society would be one of them. But yeah, that's kind of a bit about Tech Society.
All right. Thank you, Natisha. Indeed, we really do hope that you sign up for the Tech Society. As you've heard, it is for anybody, not just people or students that have enrolled within technology. On that note, good evening once again to everyone who has joined us. Thank you for being here tonight and sharing this conversation with us. Do ask questions on the chat box. You're more than welcome to engage with us tonight, as we'll be having conversations with student leaders from the various clubs and societies from UKZN. All right, Ndumi Somgoma from the Finance Society, how are you?
Hi, Tim. I'm good, and you?
I'm well, thank you. Finance Society, right? So Natisha spoke about leadership. She spoke about, being a part of organizations that aren't necessarily a part of your degree, but, you can also be a part of them as an individual who's a student at UKZN. Finance, right? big, big, big word. Finance has so many things to it, right? It's money, it's the art of finance, it's the study of finance. There's just so much to it, right? What is the Finance Society about? Because someone can be like, do they help me with money? What do they do? Do they fund me? So let's clarify this. So what is the Finance Society all about?
Okay, so just as you said, finance is a big word, and equally so when we study the world of commerce here at school with the commerce-related studies and finance specifically, we find that we get a lot of information that at the end we don't know how to apply because it's a lot. So what the Finance Society is basically is that bridge to help students get a playground so that they can get to apply the knowledge that they learned during classes, get to learn soft skills to work and build businesses in the corporate world and in the finance world specifically. So we are that bridge. Yeah, we are that bridge that enables students to get used to that world and to network and to learn, so that when they get into that world after studying, it's not something that they're not familiar with.
Okay, so you are a bridge, you say. So how then can we be a part of this bridge? What are the benefits of being a part of the Finance Society?
First of all, it is that you get experiential learning with the many portfolios that are here. For example, the business unit, you get to be part of a working business. You get to develop business ideas and look at how you can make money using business. There's other portfolios like mine. I'm a liaison event administrator and donor cultivation officer. So in that, you get to network with big companies. You see, in cultivating donors, you get to speak to big people with influence, and you get to get used to being in that kind of world and learning the language and growing into that person. And you get to network too with the people that are in the society and with the people the stakeholders. You get to network and build great relationships that could help you in your career.
All right, I like that, and I'm going to hold you to that thought. I'm going to come back to you later. All right, so we have a rep from Enactus UKZN. Ms. Kosana, are you here?
I'm here. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. You yourself?
I am well, thank you. So Undumiso speaks of stakeholders, he speaks of networking, and we know Enactus is all about business, all about entrepreneurial solutions, so tell us about this big organization that is a club of society at UKZN and what it's all about.
So Enactus UKZN. So I'm going to start about outlining what Enactus is. Enactus is all about student entrepreneurs. I'm connecting students with business leaders as well as academic leaders. But Enactus is an organization that you can find in almost each and every university out there. But there is an element that's different to being an Enactus member and being an Enactus UKZN member. As Enactus UKZN, we have our own reputation from impacting lives, impacting communities, to identifying a problem and coming up with ideas that will solve the problem while using entrepreneurship skills and generating revenue, winning competitions, being recognized one of the top 16 worldwide. Enactus is just one thing that teaches you to be quite a thinker. Be up on your toes and yeah.
All right, before we continue, just kindly mute yourself if you're not speaking so that we can hear the speaker as well. But on that note, you speak of international representation, right? So we at Enactus UKZN have a rep, right, as you mentioned. And what has, being a part of Enactus UKZN done for you, and how would you then encourage someone who wants to join Enactus UKZN to do so as a club and society member?
So one of the rules that I've heard, or one of the things that I've heard being at Enactus, is actually your network is your net worth. That is something that's so huge, and you only recognize it once you've engaged and passed that phase. And Enactus broadly offers that platform whereby you meet business people from talking from CEOs to people with concept ideas, coming together and coming up with something that is so great and impacting communities in so many ways. So I individually, I've learned that you can come up with problems because you can come up with solutions to problems. And execution is one of the greatest things that people fail to do. So with Enactus, learning how to execute something from being an idea to actually being a solution is what I've learned through my journey.
Oh, 100%. I like that. From something being an idea to it being a solution. I will hold you to that thought and come back to you a bit later, right?
No worries.
Ms. Piri, SRC, right? So we know that the SRC is supposed to be a body that really upholds the students' interests, right? How does the SRC, specifically here at UKZN, ensure that they indeed, at the core of the organization, uphold the students' interests at large? I'm not sure if we still have Ms. Piri on the line. Okay, if not, no problem. Let's move straight into Uweliswa. So Uweliswa, Enactus spoke of community development and community outreach, basically in terms of, assisting people who come from rural areas, right? Part of what Mini Habitable Planet Workshop is about is also ensuring that they reach communities and, they are a part of, the bigger cause of actually seeing science being, something that everyone has access to in society. So you mentioned stuff like you are a part of community outreach. So which communities thus far through, the workshop and the program have you impacted?
All right. So the project started in, we are in Westville, so not too far from here. I think just 15 kilometers away. There's a township called KwaZulu-Natal. It's in Claremont, and there are schools that we impact and work with there. And we've recently branched off. There's a neighboring community called Y-Bank, and we also started with working with learners from there. But we've also, as they were saying about networking, I've also quite made a network with some of the student leaders who are also present in this meeting, and we've been able to collaborate and help each other in impacting more communities. For example, we've had Enactus people and people from the Finance Society coming through for the Mini Habitable Planet Workshop, and I've also availed myself for some of their projects, whether they are at KwaNongoma. We've traveled as far as that to just do community outreach programs, whether it's career expos and career motivations and informing to many schools of that municipality and community. So we've done quite a lot of work.
All right. So how can, let's say I come from Umkababa and I want to join, the program. Can we then have a program that is centered around my community as well?
Of course. I feel like as long as we have people who are willing to do the work, which they always are, then anything is possible. We do also have sister projects that are happening at Richards Bay with the University of Zululand. So, but they are focusing on that particular area. But in Durban, we are focusing mainly on communities around Durban. We've also made another connection and network with quite a new program called the Matric Helpline, which is based at the PMB campus. So I think we'll be just going to impact more communities around PMB. So I think there's just a lot of growth and development through the programs. And I realize that there's a lot to be done. And we're just looking forward to doing more and having more partnerships with other student leaders at the university.
All right, that's lovely. Indeed, doing more. We also look forward to doing more as UKZN through these clubs and societies. The work you guys do is absolutely impeccable. Ms. Piri, I think you're here. Just give me a shout out if you are still here.
Yes, I am.
Yes, perfect. We've got you, right? So let's go back to you, right? The SRC. How does the SRC ensure that they have the students' interests at heart?
I think the whole term, Jay, for the close to 9 months that we are in term of office. We work to serve students. Number one, we have an SRC trust fund that pays for registration every year for students that don't have the funds to avoid a financial exclusion, which has been an issue for years, but we've managed to alleviate the number of students that don't register in the institution because they do not have the funds to do so. So we do have a SRC trust fund, of which we're still raising funds even now because the need for the trust fund has grown in leaps and bounds over the years, and we therefore are aiming to raise 10 million for the academic year of 2023. We also have I think we basically become parents to first entry students because some of them don't have access to information. For them, when they get a firm offer to come and study, they just take their suitcases and come to the institution. They don't understand the process of getting your acceptance of offer form captured, waiting for you to be on the system so that you can register, getting allocated at housing before you can get residence. So we don't leave those students stranded. Every day, you need to make sure that those students are housed. You need to make sure that you fast track their processes of getting registration. You need to make sure that they understand the processes. And for them, it becomes very tedious because they don't understand. For them, they like, I got an offer to study and I want to study. Like, I don't understand the whole process. So you make sure that you do most of the work because they don't understand the whole process. So you make sure that you be the middleman for everything. You make sure that the process runs smoothly. And in a few days, they are all settled and comfortable to work. So it involves everything. I think every portfolio, we have student support services that makes sure that clinics are working well for students, that make sure that we have cafeterias, that shops that cater to all students from all walks of life and for their different financial capabilities, because we don't come from the same home, so we don't afford in the same way. So we make sure that student support services has shops and cafeterias that accommodates everyone from every social class. We have college representatives. If your lecturer is not treating you well or you're not happy with your marks, they're able to represent you. They're able to follow up on matters, on things that you're not happy about. So all in all, we are an all-rounder. We deal with all situations, and we have all different portfolios that accommodate every situation and every aspect of a student's life. And also, we also facilitate the administration of clubs and societies. And also part of our budget, SRC budget goes to clubs and societies to make sure that students also have extracurricular activities besides academics. They also have a society in which they belong. They also have activities that they do just for them to have a holistic stay in an institution of higher learning.
I like that. That really is a wholesome explanation of what the SRC does. The SRC really does, become the parents of the students, become, the parental figures away from home. And that indeed is definitely a way in which you preserve the students' interests at heart, right? So, Ndumiso, back to you. Right, we spoke about finances with Unozipho in terms of them ensuring that they cater for those who cannot afford and the different social brackets that exist within the institution, right? Because this institution is for everyone, as we know. So in terms of the Finance Society, right, it's multifaceted, as we know. What initiatives or what, has the Finance Society done, or what can they do to ensure that such knowledge is accessible to everyone? And what sort of financial gains can you give to the students and knowledge can you give to them for them to sort of be able to use even outside of their lives as students?
I'm going to make an example of one of the events that the society has hosted it and it's yet to do it again. We call companies like Old Mutual to come and give financial literacy classes to the students. So they get an opportunity to learn about their finances, especially if they come from backgrounds where they are not really exposed to that kind of knowledge. They get to learn the basics and how to keep your money and make the best out of what you have. So as the society, we give that opportunity so that they can learn that for free and use it in their daily lives. And one of the departments that the Finance Society has is the business unit. And with the finances that we gain from the businesses that come from that unit, I believe that the Finance Society can support the fund that the SRC has. It can build its own mechanism of trying to assist those students, because, as you said, we come from different backgrounds, and it's a university that accessible to everyone, and some of those people may not really afford that opportunity. So to give that chance, that equal chance to everyone, to make sure that even the people that we want to see, because that's the goal of the Finance Society, we want to see more disadvantaged people working in the world of commerce and being empowered to be in the world of commerce. We can use that then to boost them, to give them that opportunity.
100%. I like that. Empowerment. That's a very nice catchword for us to continue this conversation on. Speaking of empowerment, Netisha, right? So part of the Tech Society is to ensure that we empower people with technological skills. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. You did mention buzzwords earlier on. So things like fourth industrial revolution, fifth industrial revolution, even now, metaverse is just, the list is endless, right? So what things have you, or in the Tech Society rather, do you do or can you do to empower people with the relevant knowledge for them to become also relevant people within society today?
Okay, so a wise person once told me that a product of a leader is another leader. So at the very heart of what we do is we cultivate leadership as well. We train people. So whoever's in our executive committee, right? So let's start off with leadership, discussing that aspect of it. So in our executive committee, we also have others that are leading other committees within that. And within those subcommittees, there are leaders that are training others as well. So it's always passing on knowledge through that. And since you are back to the topic of speaking about, technology and all of those things, and I feel like upskilling is very crucial for students. And basically your CV is your selling point. Recently, we had a talk with GradStar. So they had discussed a bit about CV writing. We had women in tech as well. And some of our students actually had the opportunity of being identified as GradStar's top 500 most employable students in South Africa. So that was through one of the opportunities that we had through some of our initiatives. But if you're talking about technology and what would you suggest in terms of skills that I would suggest that students get involved in or look into, I would suggest that students get involved in programming. There's plenty of online courses that are there for programming. So what our members are currently doing now, they're working on getting their certificates in coding. So Python is a coding language that people generally use to develop apps, and there's so many things that you can do with these coding languages. So they're actually doing courses in SoloLearn. Some of our members, I think they're having a competition with actually stacking certificates, who can get the most coding language certificates, basically that. So we kind of encourage our students to get certificates, do free online courses. So one course that students are actually doing now is SoloLearn. So SoloLearn is a very good course to actually learn or get started with coding. So if our students, our viewers who are in first year, or actually also in their if they're in grade 12, if they want to look at other courses to get interested in, it's basically they can try SoloLearn. SoloLearn is a very good course to actually learn about those skills. But yeah, those are some of the things that we've been working on. We've had a few workshops. Currently, we're working on a mentorship program as well. So we actually get our students paired up with industry experts, and they will give them talks around technology and upskilling themselves and all of those things as well. And I think the most important thing for a student is to just get out there. Get involved in a club and society. Basically, a club and society at UKZN, what it basically does, it puts your knowledge into action. So there's your academics, that academic side of you, basically, you're learning about academics. But now at a club and society, you're putting that into action. You're getting involved, you're working on projects. And our members, whatever idea, if they come up with ideas, then we'll run with the project. If they say, okay, let's do a talk or a workshop on web development, that's actually something that's upcoming soon. We're actually going to do something on web development. And basically, that's basically how our society runs. It's built on ideas. Technology is ever changing. It's always learning about new things. How can we improve? How can we get better? And that's basically, some of the things that we've been involved in. But I really hope that I answered your question in what we do, because there's just so much that's going on. And yeah, that's a lot about Tech Society.
No, I like that. Your answer was elaborate and allows us to have a fully fledged conversation. So keep on doing what you're doing in terms of your answers. So thank you for answering that question. You actually mentioned two very important things, right? So the first is the fact that we're putting action into our, the academics that we learn. And then another really fun component that you mentioned was the idea of competition, right? Which leads me to Enactus. Let's go back to Enactus now. So Enactus, we know that Enactus really is involved in a lot of competitions, right? So someone is watching this and they say, competitions at school, how? Right? So what is that all about? So you also mentioned that you mentioned top 16 in the world. There's just a lot, when it comes to competing. And I like what Natisha said in terms of putting, your academics to work. And we know that Enactus, because it allows everyone to be a part of it as well, people are able to, from all walks of life, put the academic work that they learn in class into action and actually, changing the lives of people in communities. But also, there's also a competition aspect. So community work plus competition, a bit of a, how does that distinction actually work together in Enactus?
So Enactus competitions are really to encourage us as students or as student entrepreneurs to do better. Always, when you're always in a competition, you strive to be the best. So we're really striving to be the best, but being the best in impacting and enriching our communities. So Enactus has numerous competitions, but the most famous ones, the regional competitions. From there, a top 12 is selected, and then it goes to the nationals competitions. The nationals competitions are usually held at Santon Conventional Center. And then from there, one team, the number one team, goes forward or to the next round to the World Cup. The World Cup is held in different places every year, but it also gives you a chance to travel. Like this year, the competition is going to be held in Puerto Rico. So you having the chance to go to Puerto Rico as a second year student is so great. You get to meet many other people from many other countries and so forth. So really, it goes back to saying your network is also your net worth.
100%. Imagine getting to go to Puerto Rico in your second year. Bucket list ticked right immediately. So that's something to hold on to, if anything, really, right? Okay, SRC, let's go back to you. Okay, so leadership. I think what's common here is that all of you here are in leadership. You did mention that the SRC is one of the top structures, if not the top structure, in terms of student leadership. There's a gap that exists, obviously, between the original, or rather the lay student, the person who's just an ordinary student attending school, and an SRC person who is top structure leadership. How accessible is the SRC to the ordinary student? I think we've lost Nozipo again, which is fine. It's okay. Let's continue. Do we have
back?
We're back.
I'm back. Sorry, I'm having connectivity issues. The SRC is very accessible to students. I think we're the first people that students come into contact with when they come here in January, whether they've got offers, whether they're looking for space, whether they're just looking for any academic guidance, because you'll find us at gate 1, where usually parents come and look for assistance and all other things. So you'll find us at gate 1. We stand and we sit in the sun with our laptops for the whole day, from morning until probably at 5 p.m., assisting students. So we are very accessible. When registration period is over, you find us in our offices in the SU every day from Monday to Friday. Our contact details are available at the gates with RMS and circulating around. We also have a Facebook page, a Student Representative Council Facebook page. And also we've started partnering with corporate relations with doing school outreaches. We do career expos in high schools, especially schools in the rural areas and remote areas where they don't have a lot of access and more information in terms of getting into the institution and the requirements and just the application process. So we are very much accessible to students all the time. I think we are the most more accessible people in the institution than anyone. We get calls at 3 a.m. We get calls at 6 a.m. We do not have office hours during registration period. We literally take calls at all times. So we are very accessible to students.
All right, that's definitely refreshing to hear, because student leadership needs to be accessible to the very people that they cater to primarily, and that's really exciting to hear. Right, so Weliswa, you speak a lot about community outreach and the fact that this is basically a very busy program. How do you find the time to balance what you actually came to university for? Because, hey, student club and societies are great, lovely, it's great to be a part of it, but there's a lot that goes into it. It's really busy. You're talking Guatemala, you're talking anyway, you're talking Pietermaritzburg. It's a lot, right? But how then, as a club and society, do you ensure that your members who actually want to enroll are a part, who are a part of this organization, actually are able to balance, their academics and the activities of the club and society?
All right. Yeah, that question is, I think I've learned the skill of multitasking. I've learned the skill of knowing how to prioritize my time and, split my tasks, based on what is important and attend to that. Leading anything takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. You dedicate your time and you stand up to the commitment that you made. I guess having a structure, having team members that understand the assignments, that understand the mission and the vision we have for the project. So that makes it easier. In my team, we have members who are in different fields of sciences. And also, I think that helps in terms of when someone has a test or something important for school that they need to focus on, then the rest of the team is able to focus on the program. So I think having a team that understands that we came to university to get our degrees at the end of the day, but we still want to make a difference. So we just need to collaborate and decide on days that are convenient for all of us. We also get in touch with the school, looking at their dates, whether it's during exam times and their timetables, so that we structure our things that in a way that they align with also our timetables. For example, we are looking to have field trips for the learners that are going to come to the campus and do science experiments at the biobuilding laboratories. But we're only planning on doing that when we are having our mid-semester break, so that we have the access of the lab and the learners are also not very busy at the time, and we are also actually on vacation. So I think that's how we try and have our things sorted out around time. And quite recently, there was a competition at the university called the Inspiring Impact Challenge. I think that competition was run during the June semester break. So we're able to participate in that and actually win that competition, because it was a 6-week long competition, and every week there were presentations. So we're able to, dedicate enough time into focusing on that, so that we can be best prepared for the final day.
Oh, nice. You mentioned a competition there, Inspiring Impact. What is that about? Tell us more.
All right. So the university has a new campaign or initiative where they shine a light on change makers and people that make an impact, whether it's current students or alumni of the university that are doing a difference in their communities. So it was a competition between leaders that are, doing something for their communities, whether it's based on business, because I know Enactus was also part of that competition as well, whether it's people having NPOs that are, making a difference. Also, congratulations to Enactus, because they got 3rd place in that competition. So, it was just a way that the university thanks us for shining and bringing up their flag and just doing a difference in our communities by giving back and, inspiring other people to do best. Yeah.
Sure. We have a group of winners here. we're winning everything. Enactus is winning. You guys are winning. It's just a group of winners. So please be a part of these winning groups. Be a part of the winning teams, guys. Join the clubs and societies at UKZN. Once again, good evening and thank you for joining us if you've just joined. Okay, as we're wrapping up, I see we have a few minutes left, right? I want to ask you guys something important. This is going to be the same question for every panelist here. Why your organization, right? Yes, we're all coexisting. We're all one big family at UKZN. But if I had to choose just one club in society as a person who's just enrolled in UKZN, I'm in my first year, why should I choose and be a part of your organization? So this is the elevator pitch, right, of these clubs and societies. Natisha, let's start with you.
I think you put the wrong person to speak on this, because I'll actually go on and on about Tech Society. But just to sum up Tech Society to a first-year student, our doors are warm, are open to all first-year students. We are here to mentor, to train, bring up new leaders, also to teach people about technology, making them more aware about technology. Because when you're going into the workspace, there's a lot of technology that you're going to be exposed to and using. And we are encouraging students to be more aware about the tech space. And I feel like you should have at least a bit more knowledge about technology. And that's what we kind of try to promote as well, and make people aware about this is what's happening around the world that you're living in. And technology is just exploding. I think it's good to be part of conversations that relate to technology, be a part of workshops and talks that are associated with the field of STEM rather. So definitely I feel that first year students, come and join Tech Society. We are here to mentor you. We are here to help you. Like I've said, the product of a leader is another leader. And I hope to see that one day a first year student will actually take over and be the next president of Tech Society, because all the leaders within Tech Society as well, they're all students. We are, like you spoke about, balancing school and studies. I think when you're part of a society, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. We have lots of fun in what we're doing, in planning our events, and just come and join Tech Society, give it a try, be proactive as a student, get involved, and don't be afraid to give something new a try or a chance. Students generally like to stay in the box of academics. Guys, just step out of the box, try a society. You can always, try other societies. There's also Enactus as well that's here. I was part of Enactus. I know I'm supposed to be selling my society, but Enactus is also an amazing society as well. I was also part of Enactus. Ironically, I know Asanda from Enactus. We were in the same team. So definitely, that's the amazing part about the clubs and societies at UKZN. But in terms of Tech Society, come and join us. We are here to teach you about tech. There's something that you will definitely learn. And learning is the heart of what we do at UKZN and even Tech Society.
I love it. Learning is at the heart of what we do. I really like your parting words. And we seem to be on this Enactus train now. So let's hop on. Enactus, why should we be a part of your organization, right? Natisha has also mentioned a few things, that Enactus is an incredible organization. These are her words. Why should we be a part of Enactus UKZN?
So besides the fact that I see many, many leaders here which are part of or were part of Enactus, I won't go deep into that though. Really, being part of Enactus gives you the upper hand. I think entrepreneurship skills is something that each and every individual, especially a young citizen in South Africa, should have, or you should be able to execute something. It gives you the power to actually go for things and things that seem impossible. Enactus has a power because let me just say this straight. Youth unemployment. The only way that we can eliminate youth unemployment is through entrepreneurship. Because you go out there, you learn, you graduate, you go out there, look for a job. The unemployment rate is too high for us to be looking for jobs in this day and age. We should be creating jobs. And Enactus teaches you to create something, make something from the problems, and come up with a solution that is going to benefit you as well as people around you.
All right. I like that, being a solution. And, a huge part of being a solution and, a huge impact of not having employment as finances, which leads me back to Ndumi. So we've missed you. We haven't seen you for quite some time. Ndumi, so are you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Perfect. We haven't forgotten you, right? So the Finance Society, money, ching, ching. What is the one thing that you would, encourage someone as the reason as to why they should join the Finance Society?
In a world where there's so many paths you could take, so many avenues you could go into after graduating, it is very beneficial for you to get an opportunity not just think about what you want to do with the information that you get from here, but also get to practice and use the information that you have while you still have time to think about your options, to process your options, and to just play around with them in a practical manner. And while you're doing that, you gain the experience so that when you get into the workforce, when you want to start your own business, you have that experience. You can approach employers, you can approach investors with that experience, which makes you more attractive to them. So that's the reason why you should join the Finance Society. We give you that opportunity to gain practical experience.
Nice. Practical experience, especially in a world that is run and governed by money. You need that financial practical experience. Thank you for that, Ndumi. So, Weliswa, why should we join your program?
All right. I always challenge people that want to join the program to think about what they needed most when they were in high school. Whether it was having a conversation with a real life doctor to ask them how the journey was, whether it was talking to a software developer and asking them what is computer science and IT about, whether it was asking someone with a biochemistry and microbiology degree if there's actually a job for that, or it's an academic degree, because that's some of the things that we offer in our program. We also pride ourselves in the fact that we target a lot of SDG goals. We are focused on, having more girls in our project because we want to target the gender inequality issue that exists in STEM. We'll make sure that we provide our learners a meal, and it's such a fulfilling, emotion and feeling after having our workshops, because we are targeting low-income communities and we try to at least provide a meal for those learners. So we do a lot of things that, bring a lot of fulfillment at the end of the day, knowing that we've done a lot of difference in someone's lives. And we are encouraging them and inspiring them to look at us as Black females and see that the work that we have done and also that it is possible for them. So the main thing is just to inspire them to be anything they dreamed of being. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Inspiring them to be anything they dreamt of from the institution that inspires greatness. I think it's a perfect match. I think it balances out, right? All right, thank you for that. Nazipo, SRC. Well, the SRC is basically a structure of governance, right? So why should someone, let's say someone's watching this and saying, I want to be like Nazipo one day, I also want to be part of the leadership. How can that person, join, and why should they actually, strive to be a part of the SRC leadership?
The SRC plays a very important role in a student's life, and it's an ongoing cycle. As we're here serving in our terms, we're gonna leave and we're gonna go into the corporate world. So we need people that are constantly coming in, that receive the help, that also have the ambition to also give other students help as well. So it's very important, and I really love to see women making it in the political sphere. I always enjoy debunking the notion that politics is a male territory and women are not should not be accommodated or should just be nurses and social workers. I believe that women are great political leaders. They possess both a side of femininity as well as a leadership role, and I think that is a great combination. And so I love women to get empowered and to take an interest in politics. And that is why in my club and society, I make sure that I prioritize women, and I make sure that I accommodate a lot of women and be a sort of a mentor, because I'm going to leave soon. And I also want other women to be there for students, because the SRC is very vital and it is a great need in the institution. I think Without the SRC, the institution would have a problem functioning because we are the ones that are on the ground dealing with specific issues that the management probably don't see. So it's very important. A person that aspires to be in the SRC can join political clubs and societies, serve in the club and society for a few years or a few months, just be active, learn how things are done, learn how student issues are championed, learn how to deal with people, masses, and as well as just learn how to be selfless, because it needs you to be selfless. At times you need to put your personal issues on the side and just deal with students and make sure that they are okay, because you've been in the institution for a few years, they just came here, they don't know what's going on, they are confused, it's a totally different environment for them, and they need you to help them. So you need to be a patient person, a person that is willing to assist people, and also to be a bit strong and headstrong, because the political space is not a friendly one at times. So it needs you to be a very headstrong person. But I do encourage a lot of people, and I'm very happy that in these few years, we've been getting a lot of females who are taking an interest in politics as well as in being in the SRC. So I want a lot of people to take an interest, because as we can see, the world, outside world is governed by politics, and a lot of things are shaped and maneuver around politics. Our daily lives are affected by politics, whether it's petrol prices, inflation, it all boils down to politics. And I think that's the kind of mentality that students also need to have when it comes to being in an institution of higher learning, because an SRC, as I've said, is the highest decision-making entity when it comes to students. So you cannot just sit there and expect your problems to be attended to. You need people that are there to champion your problems. You need to speak to a college rep so that when he gets to a meeting, he knows that first year law students are facing this, second year law students are facing this, third year law students have this kind of problem. So it's very important. It's one platform that cannot die. It's one entity that needs to live on for decades and centuries. I think a university cannot function without an SRC. So we need a lot of young minds, a lot of young blood to always come and take an interest in fighting for students and also championing student issues. So I do recommend it a lot, and I'd love to see more females also taking up positions, bigger positions, and everyone, in fact, should have an interest in knowing the running of a university, and also just having that drive to see student issues being championed, and also to see a student's life being easier and more convenient in an institution of higher learning.
Sure. I like that, championing student issues and ensuring, a life of convenience for all students is really important. Also, still in Women's Month, women leadership and female leadership is very important. And we appreciate that, clubs and societies like the SRC hold that at the forefront. So big ups to you guys for that. Right. Final question. We have a few minutes. So final question, right? In 3 adjectives, 3. Okay, not a sentence, just 3 adjectives. How would you describe your club and society? Finance, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, fun, educating, and what's the third one? Inspiring.
Okay,
Yes.
Fun, educating, inspiring. Okay, caught that. Well, Lisa, 3 words. How would we describe the Mini Habitable Planet workshop in 3 words?
So we have the 3 Fs actually, and it's a thing. It's a thing for our project, and we always mention it for every presentation. So it's 3 Fs. Right. So the program for our learners is 3, fun, and food. It's free, it's fun, and there's
I love it. I'm sold. I am sold. You heard the 3 Fs. Enactors, can you top that? Do we have something? They're winning here. They've got the 3 Fs. Enactors, what are the 3 words?
So, entrepreneurship, impactful, and unity.
Right. Unity. Interesting. I like that. Entrepreneurship, impactful, unity. Letitia, can you top that?
Okay, so my one would be warm. It's a very warm space, empowering, and 4IR, Fourth Industrial Revolution.
Okay.
I tried to sneak that in there.
You just had to, you just had to. You are the tech society after all, right? So we said
Yes,
warm. Yes, we said warm. Remind me of the second one, please.
Empowering.
Yes, very important
and
one.
Then
And
4IR.
All right, warm, empowering, 4IR. Empowerment, SRC, I think that's speaking to you as the last coming society. What are the 3 words we can use to describe you? I think we've lost the SRC again, but I do think empowerment. She's back.
Yes, I am. I have a lot of words, but I'll try and just minimize it to 3. Number 1, academic excellence. Afrocentric leadership, as well as fulfilling. It is definitely fulfilling, being able to serve students daily.
Academic excellence, Afrocentric leadership, and fulfilling. Really nice. Okay, so those are just a few of the adjectives, ladies and gentlemen, that the leaders of these various clubs and societies have used to describe their clubs and societies. If you are not convinced to join them, I do not know at this point, because really we have heard a lot in terms of what they do, the impact they have, and how they actually create a wholesome space for learning, but also ensuring a level of self-actualization for every single student who enters in the gates of UKZN. It's been an absolute pleasure and so much fun hosting the session tonight. I personally learned a lot about the various clubs and societies that UKZN has to offer. And indeed, it is important for us to understand that academics is not the only thing that UKZN offers. We have much more than that. And tonight, you've witnessed firsthand how we balance, the social aspect of being a university student as well as academics. My name is Temele Tshange, and from UKZN and myself and all the panelists tonight, it's been an absolute pleasure. Goodbye and God bless.